I'm Sarah Giblin, the creator of the RiutBag and the founder of my one-person startup, Riut. 2 years ago, the RiutBag didn't exist. It is a rucksack, which is exactly the other way around. So rather than having all the zips on the outside, where the person behind you can get into your rucksack better than you, I've removed all the zips on the outside and put them against your back. So when you're traveling around in busy towns and cities, wherever you are in the world, you feel totally safe and you have total peace of mind. As with everything at the beginning of my business, I was madly researching on Google, and I knew freight was going to be an important part of it. So I looked up freight companies. I didn't know the term fulfillment or freight forwarding. I didn't know any of these terms. When I spoke to the guys at Freedom Logistics, they actually listened to what I was doing well before I'd finished my product or even been to the factory. But they took me seriously right at the beginning when no one else would, which was completely crucial. Understood that I had a knowledge base of zero and helped me see how each step was going to work to actually getting my products to where I needed them to be. I suppose what's important from my perspective is that I am a one-person startup. I don't have a huge team working for me, and that is part of the reason that it was so important to find the right freight company, because I didn't have a second chance. That was all of my stock in the world ever, that first production run that was moving all the way from China to the UK. And if it hadn't worked, everything would have been lost. And it wasn't, and it worked just fine. Everything went to plan in terms of timings, which is another crucial thing. You want to say, this stuff will be here in June, so you need it to be there in May, and they made it happen, and they're always there for me, so it's brilliant. When I first started working with them, I couldn't imagine that I could do this without having to think about it. I thought this was going to be the bit that I'd have to manage the most, but they manage it completely, which means I spend the rest of my time managing all the other bits of my business that don't run as well as that bit, basically. So anytime I have to move anything, I'll call them up. And I know that they'll do it. They move things all over the world via every means possible, and they do it on time, repeatedly, and that's why Freedom Logistics still exists, because it does it repeatedly. They become a little bit like my freight department. I like that idea because it means that I've got a really fantastic freight department. If I'd chosen another company who couldn't do their job so well, my company would not be in the position that I'm on my 5th production run, and I don't even think about whether those guys are going to do their job well, because they do. They make it possible to be a successful entrepreneur and a successful one-person startup in 2016, and that's just, it's priceless. I really mean that. I really mean it.